page. This was where we stopped, and this is the preview that we're trying to replicate. And the last thing I said we're going to do on this page is this down part of the website that says they unleash the power within, then book John for your next event. This button, and then the text under the button. Okay, we have a shape divider here, or a divider. So I'll just go straight to the design so we can wrap up today on this particular design, and then we can talk of something else. All right. If we look at, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, if you look at the preview tab, this is the preview page where we are copying our design from. This was what we are trying to replicate, and that's what I want us to finish with this morning. I had some questions on the Telegram channel where someone had asked me to add a few things. If time permits, excuse me, if time permits, we'll get there too. But if time does not permit, we will probably schedule another time for that. Or I can do a video on that and post on the group or on the channels. I'm definitely going to post that on YouTube here. So so please follow me while we do this design. I shared with you before. Let me look for a okay, I think this looks almost like what we had on that other page, and I'll just copy it, and I'll come down here and paste it. So I don't know why this is giving, why is it giving 5 tabs? Let me see. It shouldn't give 5, it should give 4. Okay, the row should be 1. Row should be 1. Okay, that's why we have this thing. Let me give it a little spacing. Okay. Okay, we can proceed to that last part now. That says we have unleashed the power within. Book John for your next event, and I think those are just the two major texts on that page. Just try and replicate that. Let me see. So like I said the last time, you have a section that looks like, if you have to design that looks like what you already have, is not compulsory. You start that section from scratch. You can always duplicate your sections and just make edits, just make necessary edits on the sections. So I'm going to finish the power within, and I'm going to say, let me find a way to copy this for this font size. Copy, and then I'm going to come here to paste style. Okay. Then for the next one, I'm going to copy this font size to for font properties. I'm going to come here to paste style, and the that is a book John for your next event. Book John for your next event. Let me see what we have here for your. There is a booking at your. I told you that if you want to break your text into 2 lines, one fast way to do that is to use this tag BR. So once you use this short code, it's going to break your line. BR means break. So it's going to break your line into 2. All right, another thing that we have is the divider. We have the divider. Let me just copy the divider here. Copy. I'm going to paste it here. Okay. We have the divider here. I'm going to delete this space. So I'm going to increase the width of that divider so it can increase. Oh no, not width, it's a gap, sorry. I'm going to increase the gap. Okay. So it can space the design for me. All right, what else do I have that I've not done? It says top awarded speaker. I think I have that somewhere up. So I'm just going to come here. We have top awarded speaker here. I'm going to pick it up from here and then paste it. Okay, it's even here too. It's already here. So there's no need to copy since I have it here. And then let me see if I can play around this a little to the boldness is not up to 600. Let me put it to, okay, 400. I think 400 is okay for this design. It's a little lower than that on the design we are replicating from, but we'll just do with that. So visible. And then let me see what the button reads. The button reads book John now. So we're going to change that text to book, book John now. All right. If you click on this particular button, ideally it will take you to the booking page or a form page or something that has to do with a way of booking John. But for the sake of this class, that's not part of our design. And if you look at it very well, there's one other thing I want to point your attention to is that this particular part is the footer of the website. So there is no designated a footer for it. So this will serve as the footer of the website. And if you look at the top page too, oh, sorry. You look at the top page, you see that there are no menu because this is a single page. And if you want to create something like that, okay, someone asked on the Telegram channel, let me read the question. Let me read the question again. Let me see if I can touch some of those things before I move to something else. Okay. The person said, can it also cover header and footer and how to create contact form? Then how we can link multiple pages together. Okay, let's do it this way. I'm going to touch header and footer briefly. Let me see how fast I can do that. And I'm going to add contact form. Or let me say okay, contact form. But what I'm going to do is I'll make short. I don't want this particular design to be more than a single page. So I'm going to teach us how to create the header and the footer. I'm going to teach us how to create the contact form. And I'm going to create a menu that is going to be working on a single page. So we're going to do another video or another class for the menu that will cover multiple pages. So I believe you understand that. And that's what we are going to be ending our class for today. So just follow me as we proceed. So let me see where we are. Okay. So the person mentioned header and footer. If you look at this place, there is no footer yet. This is a default footer, and I'm going to just create header and footer to make sure that we have something. If you look at this place too, we're having a default header. So I'm looking for, I need to get rid of that. There are two ways to get rid of that, or to get rid of that rather. And to do that, I'm either going to restrict this page to a Canva layout or a canvas layout rather, or design its own header and footer. If I want this to disappear, if I don't want this page to interact with a designated header and footer or the default header and footer, I can just go to settings. I will just go to page layout. It's on default right now, and I'll just set it to Elementor Canvas. Once I set it to Elementor Canvas, it will remove the default header and footer or whatever header and footer that is applied to other parts of the website. If you look at it now, you will see that that header is no longer there, and the footer also will no longer be there. Don't mind our text that changed or the font types and styles. That's because it's still loading, and I have to reload that. Once I reload that, it will go back to the normal font. All right, it's back to a normal font. And one last thing that I want to do is to let me change this background image so that we don't get it mixed up. Let me change the background image to something else. Let's see if this okay. Background overlay. Let me see if I can have something like a darker color. Let me use black. Okay. I think I'll just do with this. I'll do with this for the last part of that website. I'm going to publish this. Then I want to take us to where we can create our header and footer. Remember that Remember that this page is set to Elementor canvas, but we're going to reverse that so that we can go to where we can create our header and footer. So what you still do is still go back to settings and then go to page layout. Then you put at either default or Elementor full width. So I'm going to use Elementor full width because I wanted to pick my header and footer once I set it up. So I'm going to share this tab now. If you want to create your Elementor header and footer, right now I can see that there is no plugin installed for header and footer. And what you need to do is just go to plugins. Once you get to plugins, you go to add new plugins. Then you search for Elementor header and footer. Elementor. So once I search for Elementor, you see I can have a lot of options here, a lot of things that has to do with Elementor. But this is what I'm looking for: Elementor header and footer builder. I'm going to install that, and after installing that, I'm going to activate it. So after activating, you see that when I go to appearance now, on the left side panel, you see that I now have more options, including Elementor header and footer builder. That was not there when I hovered on it before. That was how I knew that I do not have header and footer plugin installed yet on my website. And after installing that, you see that it's telling me here that there is no template yet for my header and footer. So I want to add new. Let me add new. And I'm a WordPress expert. I don't need your help. Uh, okay, myself. Then next. So I'm going to skip all of this. And then this is it. What are we creating first? We are creating our header first. So header, you are going to name it. So we're going to name it header. Then the next is a type of template. You're going to select your type of template. So it's going to be header. You are creating a template that you want to apply to your website. So you have to fill in this few informations. Now it says a display on. I'm going to select entire website because I want this particular header to be applied to entire website. If you don't want your header to be applied to the entire website, you can select otherwise. But I want this particular header to appear on every part of the website. And that's that for entire website. So the next thing is to publish your settings. And after publishing your settings, you are going to click on Edit with Elementor. All right, this is our header page. You would have been familiar with this page. It looks like our default home page when we've not designed anything on our home page then. But this is the header. It only looks like the home page. So quick thing, we're just going to select a flex box. We're going to select a single column layout. Are we going to use a single column layout? Let me see if we have inner section here. If there is inner section, we're going to use a single column. There's no inner section, so let's use a double column layout. This is a double column layout, and for our double column layout, I'm looking for something like this. So we can increase or decrease. So now header on the design we are making. There is no there is no there is no there's no header and footer. So we are just going to improvise. And I'm doing this based on demands that we had on the Telegram channel that we should design something like this, or we should add this to our design. So we are going to be adding our website logo to this place. Let me see. Uh, let's add our element, then logo, site logo. I'm going to put this, and then you see here you can add a costume image, and you can go to the site logo area to go and add the logo. So I'm going to use this as our site logo for now. And then here we have the menu items. So we're going to add element again. Check for menu. We have anchor, we have navigation menu, we have menu. These ones are locked. So these are the only two options that we have. And this anchor only works on a single page. So it's not going to really work for us like that. So we're going to use this navigation menu. And right now, we don't have menu on our website. We don't have menu set up yet on our website. So we have to set up a menu now so that it can appear on this blank what's it called section. And to do that, you see it says there are no menus on your website. Go to the menu screen to create one. So once I click on this, it will redirect me to the menu screen. Now it's saying let's create a menu. Let's say main menu, and then let's make it primary menu, and then create menu. So we've created menu, and if you look at this place, we have our home page, we have our sample page, and let me just add to menu because I told you that we are not creating new pages. We are only creating this menu because it was requested for. So we are going to add to our menu, and it's going to. We can also add. I think we should just ask. We should add a costume links to our menu. And when I say costume links, it means that we can create the menu and select where it's going to lead us to on that particular page. So the URL, let me see. Okay, the name of the menu we can say about, and the URL can be the I think this is ampersand sign symbol or hash symbol, whatever you know it as, and then you can say about. You can add to menu. You can add pages. We're going to add our home page to menu. Add to menu. We're going to bring this up. We can add costume links. We can add home about testimonials. I think we have testimonials on the page. So we can say testimonials. I will say testimonials. We can add to menu. Let me see what else we have on the page. Okay, we have programs, we have success stories, and then we can say connect, and then we can say book now. You can say connect with us. can say you can add connect. Add to menu, and the last one we can say book now. Or let's just use booking, and then our text we can say book now. We can also add that to menu. So once we save this and you go back to this blank section that we used to have, you can just publish and reload the page. Once you reload the page, once you reload the page, you can see that we now have our menu. We now have our menu, and we can just play around that based on what we had on the main page. Typography, let's say our typography is Roboto condensed, and then we can put our menu items to the center, and so our layout, we can play around our layout, we can centralize this, we can justify however you want it, you can put it to the right. So I'll leave this to the right to the right hand side of the website for the sake of this design, and you can leave it at the center wherever you want to put it. It will it's your design, it's your core. So however you want it, depending on how beautiful it looks to you. So the text color, I'm going to put it to, let me see, color blue. Just nothing special. I just want to use the color. And then the width of this layout, I can put it to be this way. And I'm going to publish that. So if you go back to our main design page now, you go to our main design page. Let me share. Let me publish this. If you look at it, you see that we have our class here and we have the default. Let me say we have the default header majorly. I'm going to refresh the page after publishing, and it's going to give us our new header. Okay, you see that we now have our new header on this page now. Although I don't really like there's so much of space that we have here, but I think we just do with that for now. Then next thing is let me see if we can still play around the header a little more to just okay. Let me go to the section editing and see if I can remove some paddings. Then I can bring this to the center. I'm going to bring this to the center, and then I think I have some better. Let me see, bring this to the center of the page. So I think that will be fine for now as per header. Then another thing is how to link these items to the website. Okay, this over is giving us a color change, and because there is no green on our design, I think we should just try and work on that. The over color, I'm going to change that to this. Okay, I think that's consistent with our design. All right, then to the menu. If you look at this, you see that we've not the only what's it called menu item that we'll be working as at now is this home page, because it is not a costume link, it is a page that we added. And if you want to add more pages, you just you have your pages here. The reason we have just two pages is because we have just the home page and the sample page. If you want to add more pages to your menu, the pages are going to be listed here as far as the pages were created on the website. And you can have a list of pages here rather than the costume links that we created. So also if you have blog posts, you will have them under this place. And that's why we have hello world here. Let me add that to our menu so that at least we can have a handful of something. So that's that about that. And I'm going to let me just link like two of these, maybe two or three of these on our page to see how it works. For the about page, the costume link says about, and I'm going to work on that on the website we are working on. So let me go to working on, and this is John's programs. So let me link our about, or let me link our about to this particular section. Let me link our about to this particular section. You just come to the top of the section and go to advanced. When you get to advanced, you scroll down to this CSS ID. So you don't have to put the pound key this time. And you see that we have the about now. Now, if I click on this about, you see that it brought me here to this place where I added that particular link. But just make sure that you don't use the same verbiage or the same word on any other part of the website to avoid conflicts. So once you click on about, it's going to link you down here. Then I have another thing on the menu. We have the testimonials, which is a success stories on that page. So I'm going to copy this without the pound sign, and I'll go to success stories. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. Then I'll go to CSS ID and paste it. So if you go to the top of your menu and you click on testimonials, it will bring you to the success stories. So I want you to do the same thing for the rest of the items that we have on the menu. And I'll check that when you turn in your designs. So that's that about the header. And now we go to the footer. So for the footer, you see this is what we have there at the moment. And just like we created our header, let me go back to where we created the header. Okay, this is our header. I want to add new now. Just open a new tab. I'm going to open a new tab. This is where we have our header, right? And I'm going to just add new so we can create our footer. So add title. Title is going to be footer. Then, like I said earlier, you're going to select your template. Template is going to be footer, display on entire website, and then you're just going to publish. After publishing, you edit the Elementor. Okay, this is our footer now, and we just add a column. Let me use a single column, and then let me see if there is copyright here. Okay, there is copyright, so I'm just going to use this for my footer. You can see that it already has the name of the website, Copyright 2024 Our Class, powered by Our Class. And that's what we are going to be using for our footer for the sake of this class. Typography is going to be Roboto condensed, and then we can change our color to this. No, this is not visible enough. Let's use something darker. Let's use black. I think black looks good. Then I want us to centralize this. All right. Let me see how to work on this a little more to bring this to the center, and then we can increase the height so that it does not. I want it to be distant from the section above once it joins to the website. And then I would go back to our design. Like this copyright that we have here is going to be different now. Let's I mean that this copyright that we have here is going to be different now. It's going to or take on the recent design that I did once we refresh the page, because I've published another footer that it has to that has to override the default footer. All right. So we have our footer now, the most recent footer now, and this is what it looks like. But if you look at it very well, it's too distinct from our main layout, our main design. So we can just play around that a little. Let me just go to tar and just reduce the background. Let me work on the background. I think that's too bright for design. So we can use something like this and then use a bright. Let me just use black. Let me use black for our footer background. And I'm going to use another color for the text. Let me see if this works. Okay, this works actually. And then I'm going to publish again. Then go to our design and reload. Let's see what our footer looks like now. Okay, this is our footer now, and it's dark. Well, I'm just gonna use it like that. I'm gonna use it like that. And that's that about header and footer. You can add as much as possible things you want to have on your footer, and likewise your header. That's just the basic thing I want to do for the sake of this class. And then for our contact form, someone requested that we have a contact form. I'm not sure if there is going to be a contact form. Okay, there is a form, but it's locked for Elementor Pro. Do we have to go to that? Or we can just use a, let me see if we can, I'm trying to see if we can do all of our designs with free tools without using a premium plugin. Let me see if we can do with a jot form. So I'm going to Let me go to plugins. Oh, I've not saved this. Save. Sorry. So now I'll go to plugins, plugins. Then let me look for jobs forms. So just form as a online form, drag and drop from Builder. I'm going to install this and I'm going to activate it. My page here is there. Where can we add contact form here? Let's find somewhere to add contact form. You can add it somewhere around here actually. Let's just add it somewhere around here. Contacts. Let me make it a double section layout. And then we can have a form. I think I have to, let me try and reload in this page. Come up, come up, come up. Okay. I think I installed this jot form. Kindly hold on. So this is giving a complicated recommendation. This is the latest update is giving what it's not supposed to give. So I don't think we have to go through all of those stress. So I will just now I'm going to install Elementor Pro and I'm going to send to the Telegram channel probably later after the class so that you can install too and practice. I'm going to install Elementor Pro. And if you want to install that, I'm not installing online, I have it on my computer already. So I'm going to upload plugin. To this Elementor Pro. And I'm going to install Elementor Pro. So there are many types of forms you can form, which is a WordPress form. Well, I'm used to Elementor forms, so I'm just going to use Elementor form for this. So now I have Elementor Pro installed, and now I can have access to my form. Kindly hold on. Thank you. All right. So we have our form should already be available now on our widgets page, and I can now bring in my form. I've upgraded to Elementor Pro. Let me refresh the page so that you can see this lock now. It should change after I reload the page. And if I search for form now, you see that it has changed. The lock that was there is no longer there because the Elementor Pro I installed would automatically give me access to that form. I'm going to bring in the form here, and after bringing that in, let me see if I can put spaces. So let me bring this to the center of the page. And here we can have something like, can just copy this. All right, I'm just going to put talk, talk to us. And then you can just play around this. I'm going to first remove the labels. Then we have the name, we have the email, we have the message. So you can add other things. You can add items, say telephone. This TL means telephone. And you can add placeholder for phone number. Also, you can drag it up so that your message comes last. Another thing we can do is to shorten the ratio on the page. So we can just make this email 50%. You can see it has reduced the size of the form or the content area. And then this other one we can also reduce to 50%. Another thing you can do is to make sure that it's required. Well, if it's required, well, if people did not fill it in, the form will not submit. It means that the form will not be submitted until this particular requirement is being met, until people put in their phone numbers. So that's for phone number, and for email, the email is also required. And now for the button on the form, we have to go to style. You can style the button a little. You go to buttons, then this green color we can change to our design color. Say blue. I'm going to change that back. Why is it not bringing this? There's a color it's supposed to bring. Okay, this is the color I'm looking for because that's the color we've been using. So I'm going to use that. And for the over, we can use something else. So that it can be a little different. We can do and we can do without it, depending on how we want it. And then let me see. I think we should just leave this page as a plain page, but we can just reduce the background. We can just change the background color a little. Let me see if we can use something not entirely white for the background. Okay, we have something like this now. So you can customize these, or you can style these as much as you want. You can add your different types of text as you want it. But this is just the basic way of adding a form to your website. Another thing I want you to take note of is that when your form is being submitted, where is it going to? So you can go to the content and then you go to actions after submit. You see here we have collect submissions. This means that it's going to be stored on the website, and this as email. If you click on the email, so this is the email that the forms will be submitted to, and that's that about that. I want us to proceed to the next thing. So the next thing is your responsiveness, your website responsiveness, and that's what it's going to look like on the mobile phone. If you look at this, if you design this kind of website for me, I'm not going to be too happy with you if I'm viewing on my mobile device. And that is why your responsiveness is very essential. You have to take note of it and you have to do well with it. You have to take note of the responsiveness. So I'm just going to come here. Let me reduce this a little. Let me leave it at 10. And then I'm going to come here to reduce this font size to, it says transform your life. I'm going to leave it at this at 50. And then I think this is okay. These other ones are okay. Then the next thing is this. I'm going to reduce the font size so it can at least make sense when someone is checking on the mobile phone. Let me put this at 20. Okay, 20. And the Jones programs, I'm going to reduce the font size too. I want you to know that whatever you edit on this page, as far as its styling, it does not affect what is on the desktop version of the website. But if you delete anything, it's going to be deleted on the desktop version. So I won't advise that you delete anything. If you want to delete anything, it's advisable that you delete on the desktop version of the website. But if it's as far as styling is concerned, whatever you are styling on the mobile view will not be affected on the desktop view, or will not change whatever you already have on the desktop view. And if you go back to the desktop view to make modifications to, as far as styling is concerned, it will not alter what you already have on the mobile view. But make sure you don't delete anything. Whatever you delete is going to be deleted across board. So that's just it. So I think we can still leave this. We can leave this. For this, I'm going to reduce these columns. Let me make this single column. It's not changing. But let me make it a single column. Hoping that it will change. Then the style, I can change this. Then to the next thing, if you look at the margin and padding that we worked on here, you will see that we have to remove these, and you can just unlink or just work on this. And reduce the padding. No, sorry, the margin rather. So you can reduce the margin. You can leave the padding at 10. I think it still looks good. Although we are still going to add a little margin so that it does not merge with the one at the top. So let's just put 0. Then the top I'm going to have 10, and the padding I'll put the padding at 10. Also this, I'm going to work on the margin and the padding. Let me put at 0, and then put the top margin to be 10, and then the padding to be 10. So it makes more sense now than what it was before. You can increase the height of this a little, increase the height, and then bring the contents to the center. Also, I have to reduce this text size. I think I can use, let me use 30 for this. This looks more sane. And then for these, let me see if I can make it columns and make it 2 columns. Okay, this is better than what we have. And then I'm going to reduce the size of this too. Let me leave it at 30. Okay. Then the top to us, let me increase the size a little. Or the distance, rather the spacing, minimum height. And then I'm going to then put it at the center of the page. So what else do we have? I think that's all for now. So that's all for now. This is what your site is going to look like on the mobile phone. The success stories, let me reduce the font size a little. Let me leave it at 30. Okay. So for this, I believe it's going to change on the mobile for the content. So it's going to change on the mobile since I've changed my column from 5 to 1. It used to be on 5. Now I've changed to 1. So it's supposed to change, but if it doesn't change on the mobile view, we'll find a way around it. So that's that for now for the mobile view. Okay, another thing I want us to do is to just find a way to fill this. You can go to the styling and we can put it on a stretch. This also, you can tell it to stretch. It does not affect, it shouldn't, let me say it shouldn't affect what you have on the desktop site. Stretch. So you can have an equal size of the buttons and stretch. So that's all we have for now. Okay, for the header and the foot, for the header rather, let me make a little adjustment on the header. You can publish this for now and then go to, we can go back to our header page, edit with Elementor. So edit the Elementor, and then this is our header. We can click on the mobile view and then reduce this. Width is on 100 for now. We can reduce that. I see. So we can increase the width to something like, so let me say 60. I'm going to increase this. One hundred, 200, 300. So I'm going to leave this at this, and then I've got a styling. But let me just go to the let me go to the content area, go to the layout, and then the alignment. I'll put it to the right. I think this is okay for what I want. I'll go back to my page. This is what we used to have, and once you refresh, we should have something different now. It's a desktop view or mobile view rather is still not giving what it's supposed to give. For my design, it's giving something different. Let me see, 100. 200. This is still not giving me what I want. Let me make another little adjustment to this. I'm just going to make this just hold on. We have 100. Any difference this time? I think we should have a difference this time around. If there's no difference, then we have to. Okay, I think this is what I wanted, and I have it now for the header. And this is our menu item. This is what it will look like once you click on it on your mobile phone. This is what it will look like. We can adjust that to make this come to the center. And we're having one on top of the other before. And what I did was I came, here's the header. I came here to the header. This is where we designed our header. And because it was having one on top of the other, I had to come down here to where it says wrap. I have to click on no wrap. It was on wrap before, but this time I had to click on no wrap, and that was why I was able to put both side by side, even on the design page. Thank you. If you have any question, kindly drop your question on